We're going to record this. Hopefully I remember how to do this. So y'all can go over the notes still. Sorry, first and second and I guess fourth, most of fourth. Sorry, I'm not around. Or no, just some of fourth. So I should be there during fourth. So anyway, first and second. Apologize for not being there, but one of the kiddos got sick this morning. So anyway, we're going to go over transport and plants and talk a little bit about that. So, this isn't any, mind-boggling, brain-busting type of information. A lot of this is going to feel very reviewish. There are a couple of key terms that you already see on this first slide that you definitely need to know and understand what they do. But the big thing about transport and plants is to understand that plants have, a vascular system pretty much like we have. I mean, they don't have a heart pumping their water. They use, gravity and cohesion and the properties of water to be able to move water around the plant, whereas we use our hearts as a pump. But the vessels of the plant are similar to our arteries and veins. So, plants transport many things. The main two are going to be water and sugar. So the water that photosynthesis needs, and then the sugar that photosynthesis creates. So the water, obviously, it's going to come mainly from the roots. So the roots are going to soak up the water, and then there's a specialized structure called a xylem. So a xylem is, again, kind of like a vein for a vascular plant, and the xylem only carries water. So xylem only is going to carry water. So xylem carries water up the plant, mainly to the leaves, to where photosynthesis is going to occur, and that is the main job of the xylem. It will also carry some minerals just naturally with that water. But that's the main job of the old xylem. Sunlight powers photosynthesis. Again, you know that. And once photosynthesis is complete, remember the end product is going to be oxygen for us, and you see that being released right here, and sugars. Okay, and notice the sugars are coming down to the rest of the plant. The sugars are carried by a second type of vessel called a phloem. So right here, that word there, phloem. So the xylem carries water up to the plant. The phloem carries sugars to the rest of the plant. Now I know in this picture, it only shows it going down, but the phloem is actually going to carry sugar to all parts of the plant, wherever sugar might be needed. And again, ask yourself, well, why does the rest of the plant need sugar? Well, remember, all living things need that sugar as a source of fuel to go through cellular respiration to create ATP. So, if this was a flowering plant, the flowers would need sugar to be able to bloom and to be able to react, to create energy, to create seeds and fruit, and all the different other life processes that plants go through. Okay, so xylem carries water up from the roots. Phloem carries sugar from the leaves to the rest of the plant. So the phloem, this kind of little just play on words, they say here the phloem is transport is from source to sink. So the source, where the sugar is being made, which would be the leaves, to the sinks, which would be kind of the storage and kind of almost a visual of flowing down, from the tops of the leaves down to the rest of the plant. There's another little model here, just kind of shows you, again, the xylem tissue carrying the water, the phloem carrying the sugar to, a root cell per se, or a leaf cell, that's making the sugar, and then it's flowing down to all these other cells. Okay. So again, the locations, like I said earlier, are going to vary depending on the needs of the plant. So where that sugar is going to go, it's not always just one spot. It just depends on where the sugar is needed. And again, this is just what I just said. This shows you it's very versatile. The sugar can go, to maybe an internode or a node, which is kind of a growing spot of a leaf. It could go to the flower. It could go down to the roots to help them grow more. So there's lots of different places the sugar can go. The other part about the water, remember that whole idea of transpiration. So water kind of leaving the plant and going back into the atmosphere. There's those specialized cells. Time out. I'll be right back. Miss Sarah's here. Hurry. Miss Sarah's waiting at the door. Okay, sorry about that. So, the water, remember the whole idea of transpiration. Pepe, knock it off. Yeah, there you go. Entertaining as always at the Strauch Casa. So, water moves from the ground through the roots into the shoot and out the stomata. So, the stomata is that word I was about to say before my dogs went crazy and my daughter had to go to school. But stomata, those are the little holes on the underside of the leaves. Okay, so remember, stomata are the holes that allow for the exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen, but they also release the water from the plant too. Okay, and so the xylem has kind of direct access to those stomata where the water would be leaving the plant that isn't needed. The stomata, as you recall, are surrounded. Here's a microscopic picture, but remember these little cells here, as we talked about when we looked over photosynthesis last semester, remember those are called guard cells. So those open and close depending on the rate of photosynthesis. So there's another picture of your guard cells, okay? And again, that's just an opening. That's not a cell. That's just a straight up opening that oxygen and carbon dioxide can go in and out of, and then also water can escape from. Okay? So again, the properties of water is what allow water to move around the xylem. As I said earlier, our vascular system has a pump. We have a heart that helps move the blood around our bodies, whereas trees and plants and any kind of vascular plant is going to use the properties of water, the kind of the stickiness of water, adhesion and cohesion, to be able to help move that water throughout the plant within the xylem. So this is another just kind of little picture. And that's really about it. We're not going to get so much right now. I know the slideshow goes on to talk about primary versus secondary growth. We'll look at that. We'll look at that later on, but we're not going to look at that right now. So that is it. You can get your worksheet now that the sub gave you, and you can start working on that. Real quick, let me show you a couple of star questions that go along with this. So here's one. This is from last year's STAR test. So it says plants called sundews have rounded green leaves with many hair-like structures. The ends of these structures contain enzymes in a sticky liquid that looks like nectar or moisture, as shown in the picture. The hairs do not react to dust or non-living material, but will bend inward when insects get caught in the sticky liquid. Sundews digest trapped insects over a period of a few days. So based on this information, what function do these specialized leaves of sundews perform? Thinking about this, what are these leaves actually doing? Well, are they providing water to the plant? No, it doesn't say anything about that. Are they responding to stimuli? Yes. And anchoring the plant? Ooh, no. So they're not acting as roots. C, are they providing nutrients? Well, yeah, that sounds good because it says they help to trap the insects, which then the plant would use as extra nutrients, and respond to stimuli. Yeah, both those answers sound really good. They provide nutrients by trapping the insects, and they respond to stimuli when the insect touches the hairs, they bend inward. Then the last one, release pollen. We can stop right there. It didn't say anything about reproduction or pollen release, so our answer for that would be C. One more real quick, 22. So this one, cytokinins are a class of plant hormones. So yeah, plants have hormones as well, and we'll talk more about that on Thursday, that help regulate growth by promoting cell division. Cytokinins are produced mainly in meristematic tissue where most plant growth occurs. Which system carries cytokinins produced in the roots to the rest of the plant? So if these are being produced in the roots, what system is going to help them get to where they need to go? Basically, this is asking, what is the transport system for a plant? And as we just talked about in the notes, we said the vascular system. That helps to transport materials all throughout the plant. So, that would be just some examples of plant type questions. That is about it from me. We'll see you guys first and second period. I'll see y'all on Thursday. Sorry I couldn't